Hello, Splinterlands players. I hope you're all doing pretty well. This week we got a really fun challenge from the team, and was to use the Manticore card. Now I know new players who don't have dragon summoners might have a problem with this, but let me know if you were new, and I'm sorry that you didn't have a chance to do this. But the Manticore is a very strong card on the dragon team. Luckily, there are some common dragon summoners out there that you can use. So first, let's go talk about the card a little bit. So Manticore, if you got a max level, he's pretty much an all-star card. He's a flying card with 9 life and thorns, so he's hard to hit, and then he does damage to people when they hit him. He has reach, so he's a second place card with thorns, which some people might not like, but I like because it allows you to do a stacked thorns formation, and that can be really cool. The other thing about him is he typically, if you play him with the rewards dragon summoner, Daria, has that extra attack. So a 4 attack for 4 cost is just solid. So without a doubt, that's pretty awesome. Um, if you don't have him maxed out, you really got to get him to level 4 so he has thorns. Right about there, he's a playable card. Obviously, if you have a summoner that can summon him at 5, you want him at 5 for that extra third attack. If you're on a bit of a budget, you could leave him at 5. 6 only really gets you that extra life. That's important if you're playing at really top competitive levels, but if you're just playing the game to have fun, earn some money, um, by getting some deck and doing your questing and things like that, you won't need him higher than 5. And it is nice that there's a Dragon Quest now for those of us who have invested in Dragon cards, because there wasn't always a Dragon's Quest, and I really enjoy the fact that they added that to the game. So the strategy of using this card to me is in any time you think you're going to be facing a good amount of melee monsters, he's great to have on the board. He's really good in Little League. Dragon Life is a great combo I'm going to show you for Little League. And then he's also super good in Super Sneak because you can throw him in your last position. And when he's in that last position, he's pretty good at surviving. And the other thing that's great about this card is that it can be used very easily with the Dragon team. Um, as a card to go with some of their high cards because it's only a 4 cost card. I'll show you what I mean by that in one of my battles as well today because I'm going to show you like 2 of them really quick. And it's basically if you're going to use a main tank card that's a 7 or an 8, having a 4 behind it and then a 2 behind it allows you for only 13 mana to have 3 powerful cards on the board. And I'll show you those 3 cards in a minute. And so that's one of my favorite combos of the Dragon team, and Manticore is part of that. So first, I'm going to show you the Little League battle I just had, and so I decided, oh, time to make the video. I do have some other ones down below I'm going to show you as well, but first, let's bring up the details. So this was Little League True Aim, which means nobody was going to miss. It was 34 mana, but that doesn't matter in Little League, right? Because the best you can do is all 4 cost monsters, so you really just, and I always like to do just the strongest cards that I can think. So this is one of my classic Little League teams that I like to play. So let me go ahead and bring them up on the big board before I go over it. I remembered to not make it yell at you guys this time. So as you can see here, I'm using a rewards card, a promo card, and then these are regular cards. But 3 major pieces of my team are cards that you got either from being part of the promo or just from playing the game and getting rewards. So here in this setup of life, I always like to do the double thorns. So you got up here the Crystal Werewolf with Thorns and Silence. I also like the Silence here because if you're dealing with some mages on the other team, it helps the Werewolf survive. I always like to team up Manticore with the Harpy. The nice thing about that is that the Harpy will deal some last hits to people that the Thorns deal damage to. So that's always kind of cool to see. So I have to say that that is something that I want to just say is a good combo to be able to pull off. And then when you go on the white team, they have three cards that are great in Little League besides the Crystal Werewolf, and that's their healer, the Peacebringer, because 4 for 4. In Little League, it's all about damage for cost. And then the Defender of Truth I like, and you'll see these cards a little lower level just because that armor in a game like this is always going to be nice. And you'll see here, since I ended up going up against a Selena, I got that extra um, armor to help me out against these ranged monsters in the back. And so I'll go through this battle kind of quickly, and you'll just see that let me go medium speed here. That really the silenced helped me out just long enough. So there we got a Thorns, right? And then we got him down to 1 life here. That was a big hit. He almost got me, but there's that Harpy taking that last hit. So now we get another Thorns. So now we got, this is one of the one cases where my 1 extra HP on my Manticore helped me out quite a bit, I think. You'll see. Because he would have died right there, but instead he was alive to take that extra hit, which then allowed me to have the Harpy alive to do that. Then that brought their speed down. Now, here he did go first on the 4 speeds, but then I had 2 4 speeds. Now his Flame Demon can attack, and pretty much this game's locked up because I got a mage in the back row, and eventually I'm going to get his range to the front row. He can't attack in this game, so he lost. But that's one of the classic Little League setups if you've got the mana to use, as you saw. I mean, and those weren't maxed out white cards. Those were only like level 6 white cards. One of the other setups, this one's Little League 2, that you can do with the Manticore is throw him in on the fire team. So I'll show you this one really quick too. I told you he's a really good card for Little League, and you're going to see him in a lot of Little League matches. So this match is almost the same. But here, I decided to combo him with the card we featured a little while ago that I realized I really like, and that's the Pixies for this fast card that stuns. I like also the fire team because they can speed people up with the flame imp for only 3. They now have a 4 cost healer that they didn't used to have, and the fire demon is just a powerful card in Little League because of the blast and the hard hitting. I don't have him maxed. I kind of wish I did, but I got him at a good level. So you'll see here this fight. This fight was close. It was an interesting setup. He went fire and dragon, but he decided not to use the Manticore. He decided to throw in this guy. I don't know why, unless he just doesn't have him. So we'll watch this battle. I'll speed this one up a little quicker since it's a second Little League fight, and I want to get to one of the big fights I used him in. That opportunity monster almost got me, I'll tell you that. It's kind of funny here when you see the retaliates play out the way they did. But there's those big splash damage hits by both the fire demons. You see that? Right there, it started to look like I might be in trouble, but that miss and then that stun and that retaliate, see, turned the game right back around. So at this point, I'm going to win because of the thorns, and it's over. So that was a close match, two very competitive teams, but the Manticore ended up making a pretty good difference at the end because when they finally did hit him, you went ahead and saw him. Oh, did I use him in all Little League matches? Well, let's go ahead and show one more. I didn't realize that. This time I teamed up with Death. Again, this combo of Manticore and Fiendish Harpy, I went with some of the powerful Death cards. One of the things you can use when you play Death that you can't use in a lot of other formats, except for against green, you're not really going to see Magic Reflect. They have that new 2 cost card that has Magic Reflect, but almost nobody else does. So you can actually use your Fallen Spectre to deal the 3 debuffs if you got them maxed, or the 2 debuffs. So then you're going to weaken both of these attackers, and this attacker, and this attacker. And so all of a sudden they're not going to have very good attacking. And this guy has shield, so it sets him up for not being able to be hurt if they don't have strong mages. And Black has one of the Death Team has one of the best mages, since you don't see Magic Reflect that often in the game for Little League. And that's this Screaming Banshee right here, because you can have 3 damage that's got Blast on it. And then without a doubt, they have the best sniper. So this is going to be back row. This is going to go after their healer. So you'll see how this fight goes. Again, the Manticore here is just that secondary tank that allows me to use the little tank up front, because I know, hey, if he dies, no big deal. I'm going to have a Manticore move into his position. There's Fiendish Harpy's Opportunity Strike finishing off the sniper attack. There was that devastating magic attack. And now at this point, they can't even kill my tank because they don't have any damage in the back that can even do one past the shield. So that was just a dominating game by that team. I know the Manticore probably didn't seem like he was really that good there. Here you'll see me showing you the reason why I said he is part of one of my favorite combos. So I'm going to show you this fight as well. Also, you can use him in reverse speed because he only has 3. And I'm probably saying also a few too many times. I'm going to work on that. I'm going against one of those players that went gold. He decked it all out, right? So we both went green. This was kind of an interesting matchup, but what this let me do is play a 8, a 7, and a 6, and then play these double opportunity low cost 3, 2, and a 4 here. So this setup, basically what I'm doing here is I'm saying, hey, the only person you're going to be able to go after with a snipe attack is my guy with life leech. So if you played snipers, oh well. I'm going to go early heal with a late attack, a blast attack, and I'm going to shoot back magic or life. And then if you get past my big guy here, well, now you're going to have to deal with this guy. Now, also the Black Dragon has the great status effects. So the real thing here is to have these 2 guys live long enough for the 2 opportunity monsters to go rain a lot of death, and to have these cards live long enough to where no one can kill these 2. So these are the 2 big guns that are going out there to try to kill people. And then you put the scavenge one on this side, because by the time this becomes a tank in the front row, it'll have a lot of life. And so this is the strategy I went for in this match, and you're going to see how that worked. That's another reason why Manticore's so good in that second position, is because he's got a lot of HP for 4 cost. So you're going to see here, this fight probably starts out looking like I'm in a bad situation. But there's that scavenge. First guy's gone, but it's okay. I've got an armored 10 life tank. There's that opportunity skill. Scavenged again, so now I have 6 HP there. They do finally get through that secondary tank, but at this point, I've moved myself into a pretty good position. I had 2 double misses there that could have cost me this game very easily. Another miss there. Another miss there. I mean, this one was so close. So now I've got him up to top, but he scavenged himself all the way to 8 life. So I'm going to heal him. That hit right there probably saved me, because I got my Black Dragon up to doing 3 damage. The other thing that helped out is I got pretty lucky, and the flying on this guy caused him to get a couple misses. And at this point, it's just good game. And so the life leech and the scavenge just made it so at the end of the game, I mean, they're not going to get through that 18-12. So you see how that 4 cost mage up front allowed me to have the 4 cost tank on the Manticore allowed me to have that big damage on the back end. So that was pretty cool. I'm also going to share one other detail with you guys. I've become a TipU curator on not Steam Peak, but on Peak D for the Hive people. So I have been making comments on Splinterlands post, tipping you guys with the TipU curation. And I hope it works out good for all of us, because I'm always going to be checking out your work on Splinterlands first. And then I'm going to look at other posts because I love another chance to support this community, and I can be a good tip you curator if we're all doing the same and supporting each other. I think almost everyone who plays Splinterland should be looking through the Splinterlands tag and giving out those upvotes to people that are putting out good content about it, taking part in the contest, doing these videos, doing these posts, doing the art posts, doing the story posts, because those are the type of people that when they get a big payout, they go, I might just go level up a card. I know not all of them do. Some people are just keeping that money for themselves, but everybody's doing what they got to do. But I hope you all keep playing the game. I can't wait to get this next update out and into the game and see how it's going. I'm glad I had a chance today to sit down and make the video. I hope you all have a very good time, and I will be back soon with another video about Splinterlands. Good night.